And I observed that in all those suggested solution in the Pathfinder, maybe if they ask that prepare a report on so, I'm going to give, I wrote it somewhere, but I can't find the book right now. So I wrote the question down for that diet. So if maybe the question is asking us prepare a report to be discussing in something like that, I'm expecting the solution to be like a proper report, but the answer, they just go straight forward and they don't do a report. They just go straight forward. Maybe if it's quality control, they just start explaining quality control, maybe for the firm or for the audit, audit now. So I don't know if is it that we should not rely on those answers, or are they correct? But there's even one that will say prepare a paper presentation, and I'll be seeing they just go direct to start answering the question. And me, I was expecting to see like a report.
Okay, I understand.
I will still look for the book and maybe before the end of the class so that I can give you an example of one of the questions that I saw that was expecting reports, but instead of report, the suggested solution, I was seeing they went direct and start giving answers.
Okay, that observation is right. So what I believe, okay, Madam Jane, I will attend to you, man. So what I notice is, in all these things, that is why they call it suggested solution. But the ability to write and pass start from you first. Those things you see in the solution is that's why they did not say solution, they said suggested. That is, it might vary from your opinion in your own. So what they provided just to guide you to what you wanted to write, just to guide you and see that, oh, this is their own perspective on this answer. That is why I say it here that try and understand the concept of that question very well. So you might also be the one that will now give them eye opener in some area. Do you understand what I'm saying? So so that aspect of report that you said now, ma. So it depends on the content or the content of that this thing in the scenario. So they might be right like that. So the content of the report might be for internal use only. So you are not there to see any address. It will just be like internal memo from me to you. That is, I'm giving this report from me to my organ. So you just give it like internal memo. So you just say that this report is prepared in accordance with so. But like the preamble of the basis of what they ask you to write on, and you just start like that. So if it is internal report, definitely there will not be any address. It's just going to be from. They can even start like they will just write edit. This is it. So they will just start writing objects. So at the end of the this is a say from Idris to Juliana. That is, I'm writing this thing. It's just indicating that it's internal report. It's not for external use only. But if the tone of the question asks you to write report to the client or the this thing, definitely is going to be external report. So in that regard, they would definitely put address there. So this thing lies in your understanding on the scenario. That is one of the tips that I used to say every time. That if you understand that is, say life comes easy. I hope I've answered your question, man. So like,
Yes, sir.
if you were in a general class, revision class on Thursday, when I was explaining, I said all these things that we are writing, it just want you to, you just need to understand the concept of what the scenario is talking about. So then you can provide solution to it. So one person asked me, I now asked a question in the class that if in that regard, so I showed them the requirements so that what would you write? So the person answered that is going to write the content of of report, I said, yes, that content you are correct, but that is which is what they actually asked. But you cannot state all those contents because it does not go with the question they ask you. They are asking you some important aspects in the auditor's report that will go along with the scenario they gave you. So if you start saying address, title page, this thing, you are not answering question. You are not answering them in regard to the question they ask you. So that is where all this thing comes from. So our understanding of the scenario will pave way for us to know what we are to write and what we are to answer. I hope you understand now.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Mrs. Jane, you raised up your hand before. You lower your hand again.
Good morning, sir.
Good
Thank you
morning,
so
ma'am.
much for all you do. Yeah, I think you've answered basically part of the question or the issue or concern that I had, because last diet, I attended a private class where I had someone teaching me auditing, and it was quite different from what my eyes have been opened to. The questions for last diet were quite simple for me, but when the result came out, it was really an embarrassment. And what was it that the lecturer said? The lecturer was just telling me that I should always go to the requirements, and ICANN does not like too many stories. Just give them straight
Hmm.
what they want and all of that. So when I now joined you this diet, I'm now beginning to see that there are tips to answering ICANN questions, particularly audits, to trying to understand the given scenario, understanding the requirements, and able to link it and all that. So I think that's where I missed it that last diet. So I am now really confused. Is it that we need to overwrite, or even though we are linking our answers to the given scenario, should we be as brief as possible, like he kept emphasizing last time, or we should just pour everything? So that's just
Hmm.
my dilemma
Okay.
right now.
Okay. Okay. So in that regard, see, they said different stroke for different strokes, or as they used to say it. So this is the concept. This is the concept. This is a professional class. Audit and assurance is not like any other course because you know that in any other course, there is a format or something to follow. Here, they want to know your ability to interpret what they give you and translate it in it and translate it to be like a professional advice or judgment. So it will rather be unprofessional and unethical if they ask you a question and you just go direct. Because the basis of the exam is you want to give professional advice and judgment on in your own opinion based on what you see, and you are giving your own advice or professional judgment based on what they gave you. So in that regard, you are expected to give everything it takes to convince. Of course, if you are engaged as a practitioner to come and audit, why did they engage you? Because they know they cannot do it. They need professional advice or professional judgment to ascertain this thing for us. That's why they engage you. So they will be expecting everything totality, what you can give them to 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 cater for their issues or the reason why they engage you. That is what they'll be expecting from you. So this brings me to this chapter 14 I'm talking about. We said during the review, during the review of the class, I said before audit report used to be brief in the sense that auditor will just give opinion and it will just say that it will just state his responsibility, his opinion, and the responsibility of the management. But nowadays, and that thing later lead to auditor being sued because by the time you give your opinion and they use it for decision making, and most of the things that need to be embedded in the report were not there. So it posed the user of the financial statement to risk, and by the time they are exposed to the risk and they suffer lost due to that decision they took, they are coming for you as an auditor. So you need to now brace up your report in the sense that there are some other things that you need to be added into your report to be like eye opener that, oh, this is it, oh, this is it, oh, this is it. Oh. So, but it doesn't affect the figures in the financial statement. But however, it is important for me to say it so that you will be aware of what is going on. So to answer your question, it is it is good to start with a good preamble, and you have to write everything you think it is possible, it is important for you to write on that particular question. So I wouldn't say you should not overwrite or underwrite. So underwrite is even out of it. You cannot underwrite in this thing that you cannot just let it be brief. The examiner, those people that want to mark, they don't know you. And in their mind, this thing you are giving us, you are providing professional answer to what? To the scenario they gave you. So you are trying to educate me, to enlighten me on this on the issue that you write on or that you're about to share with me. I want to believe that I'm a neutral man. I don't know what they're asking you. I don't know the basis. I don't know how it comes to this place. So you telling me that this is how this thing comes into play, and this is the reason why. And okay, so for example, if they ask you, under when you want to audit, you must do your audit investigation and planning. You must plan before you go to the field work. So in the questionnaire will ask you that what are the things that auditor need to put in place before setting out to audit financial statement. You already know that there should be planning. So it is important for you to give small meaning, brief as possible, to introduce the meaning of audit planning, because it is under the audit planning. It is on audit planning is just the house. It is under the house you want to remove some things they ask you in the question. So you briefly introduce the meaning of that audit planning in accordance with relevant standard, if you remember, to entice or to let the examiner knows that, oh, you're actually talking about this plan. That is, auditor need to plan before you can set out for all this thing I'm asking in the requirement. So you cannot underwrite, and you need to write as much as you can. But in the exam scenario, you might want to talk. You might want to maximize your time very well. So in that regard, you be as brief as you can, and you also don't want to leave anything untouched, even though you want to be brief and you want to spend your time judiciously. So if you say that you want to spend your time judiciously and you are briefing, you are too brief on what you're supposed to expatiate very well, you lost mark there. So that is why you see some people in that 30 something, 40 something. Me, I never see 40 something before, but I've seen 20, 30. So because they were too brief. And in audit and assurance, you just have to write everything you know, because the question is not going to come direct. So you either here or there. So by the time you compile everything together, it's going to be a whole lot. Whatever they are looking for in that answer, it will be there, because you try and expatiate it beyond what they ask you, so that if you are not talking straight to the aspect they ask you, but you're already giving them everything. So what they needed is in your answer. You need to be you need to write as much as you can to fetch you more mark and to help you pass the exam. So that person that is saying is too I can't don't need much talk. It is not in advanced audit and assurance. So you have to. You have to. It is very, very important. Madam Jane, I hope you understand what I'm trying to say, ma. All right. So, Chiamaka, lastly, so that we can start the class paper.
Okay, thank you, sir. So still on that same question. So last diet, one of the things that my tutor told me then was that we should also look at the question and the marks. So that determines how how um how you would elaborate or how you would answer the question, if you're going to overwrite or underwrite. So I just want to like confirm that, because that's what I always
Yes,
do. That's
yes,
like
yes.
I look at the mark, then I don't know, and I still did not. His score was still somehow, so
Okay.
I don't like, I really don't know. And another
Uh,
thing, too, preamble works too, because I also noticed that I just go straight to the answer. I don't give a preamble before I answer my question. So that's also very important. Thank you so much for that.
mm, So, in that regard, I think I've said something like that in this class before. This is it. Like audit and assurance is just crazy course to think of. It's just very, very crazy, you know. But however, the requirement mark determine what you are going to write. But in my own time, this is what I used to do. That used to help me. Because I used to, okay, if they said maybe the thing is 5 mark, you know that deep down in your mind, they might not give you that 5. Even though if you know that everything is correct, they'll be probably give you 4 or 3.5, as the case may be. So what of if you did not write to their standard or to their taste? Okay, now this is in another angle. You know, during the exam condition, there are some that you know that, oh, if this one is 10 mark, with what I've written, they should be able to give me 8 or 9, for example. And another question in that same exam, you be battling, you say, this one, I know to write well here because I just Jomo. I hope you know the meaning of Jomo, to just collect from here, and just squeeze it there. You were not sure. You are not too sure of what you are writing, but you start to write something. So the one that you know very well, you will have written like thousand, like you let it as bulky as possible. That one will cover for you in the aspect whereby you are not too sure, you just struggling to answer it. That's what I've been doing. That if I know this question very well, even though they said it's 2 mark, I can use a whole page, because that one will cover for me where the other part that I'm not too sure about. I'm sure writing something that just to give me the mark. I hope you understand what I'm saying. So it's good to look at the mark to guide you on how to write it, but don't let it enter your head that because it's 2 mark, and let me just give them one sentence line or two sentence line and go. If you know beyond that, write it and move on, because it's going to help you in the other parts that you don't the other part that you not write much. So that is just how I've been doing my own thing. Ciao. So that is that about that. I know we started this class, this question, or last week Wednesday, while I was not in Lagos. So because it was late in the night and there was no light, so we couldn't finish. So let's quickly rush through the question again and see the answer. So hopefully by 10:30 to 11, we should be able to finish with this class. So please confirm if you can hear me, everybody. Please, let's try and start reading very well now. It is very, very important. And if you have any question, feel free. We are in the private class. If you have any question, don't come to my DM directly. Not because I will not entertain your question, but because I want other people to learn. So if you have a challenging question or general question, put it in our group chat. Let everybody contribute. Oh, this is my own take, this is my own take, this is my own take. Instead of coming to my DM and ask me directly. I hope you can do that. So please confirm if you can hear me so that we can start with the class proper. All right. So this is the question number 2. And as we are reading this question, please, I want you to be following me with those tips that we are using, because it's going to help us very well in this class. This it is very, very important. So question number 2, not bridge pharmaceutical. So this is what I'm going to do. I think I've not sent the first one the first class, the revision class. So after today's class, I'm going to send the two together. Some people have been coming to my DM that I said I will step forward with this thing, but this revision time and this week has been hectic for me. I'm so pushed up. Anyways, nevertheless, let us proceed. So, question number 2, not bridge pharmaceutical. Like I told us that in this tips number 1, which is our ability to understand the given scenario, I said that there's 3 things you need to look into before you be able to understand the scenario very well. You see the scenario, they are going to give you the name of the company, what the company, the kind of business the company into, then their mode of operation and what actually happened and where the time they started having issues. Everything will be explained in the scenario. So it is now our ability to now read through the scenario very well as calm as possible to understand what the company is doing, what the where the issue started, when the issue erupted, and what are the things you be able to suggest to them as a practitioner. You should be able to be thinking that as we are reading the question, because your ability to understand the scenario will pave way for you to know what to write. So it is very important to do that. So my dear professional, let us begin. Shall we please? Okay. So yeah, let's go. Northbridge Pharmaceutical Limited is public interest entity based in Nigeria. When we want to start this thing, I established that what is the meaning of public interest entities? That is that the kind of company that their operation is interested to the public, and they are regulated by regulatory bodies, and their operation is being traded in Nigeria Stock Exchange. So those are public interest entity company in Nigeria. A consulting firm is a public interest entity. Bank, they are company public interest entity. Uh, which other concession company? Those people that they build road and bridges, they are public interest entities, and all those and maybe oil company. Those are public interest entity uh, companies in Nigeria. So let us go. But this North Bridge is a PIE, which is public interest entity, and they said they are into what? Pharmaceutical limited. They operate in Nigeria. They now said operate within pharmaceutical sector. Its core business activities, here they are introducing us what they are into, include the importation, manufacturing and distribution of pharmaceutical products. That is, they deal with importation. They import the drugs outside, they manufacture, which is they produce, and they also distribute the product across the country. I hope you are following, everybody. Okay. For the financial year ending 31st December 2024, Northbridge appoints Emeka and Co. That is, they appointed all of us here, our firm. Let's assume that this private class is our firm. They now appointed us as a chartered accountant, as statutory external auditor. During the course of audit, when we will now want to set up the audit team, let's assume that this is our firm. All of us, we are 23 in this class now. I'm present on this meeting. So this 23, we are the team that want to go and audit Northbridge Pharmaceutical. We now said the audit team encountered several significant matters that warranted careful evaluation and professional judgment. That is, we saw a lot of issues that warrant us to evaluate the matter critically and professional judgment. Please, are we following, everybody? By doing this, I'm trying to let us understand the scenario. But in the case of exam, you'll be the one to, as you are reading, you'll be interpreting it in your brain and as fast as possible. So let's go. This matter also require appropriate communication with company's management. That is, we need to involve the company management, which go with what ISA 260, that is communicating with those charged with governance of the organization. That's ISA 260. So they said this matter that we encounter, it is appropriate for us to discuss with the management and those charged with governance to ensure transparency and compliance with all the standard and regulatory guidelines. Please, are we following, please? Can I proceed? Are we following, please? Okay, so one of the primary concerns, they said one of the primary concerns that we encounter during the audit is violation of inventory. That is the country inventory. One of the primary things we encounter is violation of inventory. It means that when we want to value their inventory, they do not follow the due procedure, which become one of the primary concerns for us. So let us go. The company was holding substantial amount of inventory, particularly antibiotics and vaccines. They said the company has a lot of inventory, particularly antibiotic and vaccine, that they were approaching expiration date. That is, most of these things, they are almost expire and they kept it in their store. So this brings us to some supermarket that you see that they said they are slashing the price of a product. Maybe normally the price of that, and this thing used to happen to perishable goods like all those chocolates, biscuits, snacks that we used to buy. Maybe before they might put 10,000, for example, they might put 2,000. But you just get to that supermarket to get something, and you are seeing that since they are selling 2,000 before, they are slashing to 500 naira or 600 naira, is because those things is getting to expiration date. So instead of the product to be in their stock and expire there, they slash the price and they sell it off from their from their inventory stock. So, but this company now, we say one of the issues we find during the audit is their valuation of inventory. That so most of some of their products like antibiotics and vaccine is getting to what expiration what date. Please, are we following? Are we following, please? And we now said the auditor, which is all of us, we questioned the recoverability and market value of such stock and highlighted the potential need for write down in line with applicable standard. We now said that we now question them that why can't you slash this price of this what of these items so that you sell them off your inventory and in line with what applicable standard. We question them that you cannot leave this stock here like this. It's getting to an expiration date. The appropriate thing you can do is to what? To slash down the price, which is to write down in line with what applicable accounting standard. We question them like that. Please, are we following? That is issue number one. Another issue that I want us to know. Another issue involves pending legal proceedings. A class action lawsuit. A class action lawsuit. That is the second. This now is pending legal proceeding. That is, they have some pending legal matter or court matter that is pending. And I said a class action lawsuit has been initiated by a group of patients alleging adverse side effects from specific pain relief drug manufactured by Northbridge Pharmaceutical. And I said that a class of people has already sued. No, had been initiated by class of lawsuit had been initiated by a group of patients. So they have served the Northbridge Pharmaceutical. They have served them notice that we'll meet in court because one of the this thing you produced, to us, it has negative side effect. Please, a minute, please. Sorry, I have to pick this. Sorry about that. Please, I hope we are following. So this set of people sued them because the drug they bought from Northbridge Pharmaceutical had some side effects, and they sued the company. They sued Northbridge Pharmaceutical. Please, are we following? Then I said, at the time of audit, the time that we are auditing the company, the legal advisor had yet to estimate the possible financial consequences. That is, the legal advisor of Northbridge Pharmaceutical has not estimate the possible amount that is going to cost what Northbridge Pharmaceutical from the outcome of what of the legal proceedings. Please, are we following? Are we following, please? Okay. So that is issue number 2. Now, let us proceed. In addition, a subsequent event was identified on 15th of January 2025. Fire incident occurred at one of Northbridge major distribution center. The fire resulted in the destruction of inventory and key assets. This event occurred after the reporting date, but before the issuance of auditor's report. You can see that here they have taken us to what event after reporting date. Yes, that is I think is 550 or yes 550 or whatever. So let us go. They said additionally, the subsequent event that happened on January 2025, one of their fire fire caught one of their distribution center where they produce drug. If they have fire incident there, they said this fire destroyed the fire damaged the key inventory and key asset of the company. But this thing happened on January 15. It is not in the year of it's not in the year that the auditor is auditing. The financial year that they are auditing currently as at then was 2024. But this thing happened in January 15, 2025. But as at that time, the auditor has not produced audit report, but it has passed the financial year. I hope we are following. These are the conditions, whether we take it as adjusting events or non-adjusting events. So let us go. This event occurred after reporting date, but before the issuance of auditor's report, and its implication on disclosure or audit opinion needed to be what to be evaluated. Let's go. Finally, Northbridge voluntarily include sustainability-related disclosure. He said they voluntarily in their mind, include the sustainability-related disclosure in its annual reports. However, upon review, the audit team noted that some environmental impact metrics, such as reported CO2 emission, this reported CO2 emission that is one of the things they are using to produce their drugs, appear to be inconsistent with non-industry benchmark. That is, this CO2 emission that they are putting in their annual report is not inconsistent with the company benchmark or with the industry benchmark. Industry benchmark in the sense that, for example, if CBN come today that before a bank can stand upright, they must get asset capitalization or capitalization of about 500 billion. That is, if you don't have 500 billion as a bank, you not continue to exist as a bank, or you merge together, or two banks merge together to shall be able to produce that 500 billion capitalization. They now said that the reports that they used to present every year on CO2 emission, it is not it appears to be inconsistent, that it is not consistent with the industry benchmark. That is, whether the industry said that you have to have this 50,000 naira, for example, before you can be licensed to produce drug, and the report they are producing, they did not have up to that. So, and it is not consistent with what with the industry benchmark and past company performance. Please, are we following? They now said this thing raised question about the credibility of the disclosed figure. That is the figure they reported, because the CO2 emission is not consistent with the industry benchmark and with the past performance of the company. So this thing now is concerned that the figure they reported in the financial statement might not be true in this regard because they are not following the industry benchmark. Please, are we following? So let us now proceed. Now, the audit team must assess the implication of all this matter on financial statement and determine the most appropriate audit opinion, disclosure, and reporting format in accordance with relevant international standard on audit ISAs, particularly on ISA 700, which is audit report, ISA 701, which is on key audit matter, ISA 705, which is on modified audit opinion. ISA 706 is on emphasis of matter, while ISA 720 is other information. And the audit guideline issued by Financial Reporting Council, FRC of Nigeria. So in this scenario, you have to be able to substantiate that the company had legal proceeding, and at a time of audit, pending legal proceeding, at a time of audit, they are yet to determine the amount is going to cost them for the lawsuit. Two, they have eventually valuation issue because specifically one of their products, antibiotic and vaccine, is closing to expiration date, and the company has not even do anything to reduce the price in order to dispose the goods of their stock. Then there's also subsequent events of which one of their the distribution center has fire incident, and the thing happened after the reporting date, but before the audit report is issued. So those are the three things that we highlighted in this thing. And finally, the annual report on one of their metrics they are using in the industry is inconsistent with the industry benchmark, and it send it's to be questioned by the auditor because it might affect the transparency of the figures in the financial statement, making four things now that we highlighted from this scenario. So I want to believe that a question will be asked in out of all these four scenarios. So that is when you now understand the requirement. Please, can we proceed, please, everybody? Can I proceed? Are we following? All right. So let's see the requirement and see. Don't worry. So I will still solve this because this question is of importance. And the first one we solve in the first revision class. I'm going to resolve it again in the general revision class so that those people there, they will also learn from it. So like what I said now, so let us see the requirement. Now, this number 2, it will now come to play here that we must understand what the given requirement. So let us go. So the man said, what procedure should be applied regarding subsequent events such as fire incidents, and how should the auditor respond if the management refuse to disclose it format? That is where we stopped that day. Then the man said, what is key audit matter, and how should event evaluation issue be treated under ISA 701 key audit matter? Then I said another one, explain how the auditor should handle inconsistent sustainability disclosure included in the annual report under ISA 720, which is other information. Then lastly, discuss the auditor reporting responsibility regarding the unresolved legal proceeding when legal proceeding and when it may be appropriate to refer to a specialist. These are the requirements. So requirement number 1 is indirectly telling us that this fire incident, is it an adjusting event or non-adjusting event? If it is, the auditors we should state it. And if it is not adjusting event, we should give condition why we think that it is not an adjusting event. So, my dear professional, who can tell me? I know we stated it before. Is it an adjusting event or not? Let me call someone. Okay. Let me just call. Let me see people on this call. Maybe people that are just joining for the first time. So I want to call Buki. Buki, are you on this call? Good morning, Buki. Please, you can mute your mic, ma. Good morning, Buki. Bukola. Please respond if you are
Yeah,
on the
good
call.
morning. Yes, I'm on the call. Good
Good,
morning, everyone.
good morning.
Okay.
Okay. So this, I'm sure you've been following from the beginning of this class, like the way I was trying to expatiate on each of the paragraph of this scenario. So
Yes.
this now
Yes.
puts us to this question that they now ask us that this fire incident that we highlighted in the scenario, it is it is a subsequent event. So is it an adjusting event or non-adjusting event? Let me make it very simple. If it's an adjusting event, it is an event that happens that can make the auditor to adjust some figures in the financial statement. But
Yes.
any adjusting event to happen in the year of reporting. So if it happen after year of reporting, we cannot adjust for it.
Okay.
So in this scenario and this kind of question, is it an adjusting event and non-adjusting event? If you say it is an adjusting event, why? If you say it is not an adjusting event, why? So
Okay. Okay.
so I'm
I'm trying
listening,
to.
ma.
Yes, I'm coming. I'm trying to see. I'm not sure I have an answer to this now.
Hey,
Good.
Buki,
You said I'm not sure I have
just
an answer.
need there. Just need that there. Raise up your hand and close your eye there.
I see. I'm so sorry. I will need to go
Okay,
through it.
no problem. Okay, that's fine. So, Mr. Udrak, you want to help us? I don't want to call you because I know you are in the class that night. So that's why I want to call new people.
Thank you, sir. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir.
Yes, sir. So the questions said, what procedure should be applied regarding subsequent events? In this case, we'll start by saying that in line or according to it's 560 subsequent events. This is non-adjusted event. Reason behind it that it is not adjusted event is that one, the event occur after the financial year.
Okay. So how should the auditor treat it?
Then the auditor will now discuss it with management. Then if management does not take it into consideration, then the auditor will then put it in his notes.
Okay. Yes, that's very interesting. Thank you, sir, Mr. Udrak. That's very, very interesting to hear. Thank you. So, Chiamaka, please you have the floor.
Okay, sir. So it's hello, can everybody hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, so it's the same thing that Mr. Odwaka said. So it's a non-adjusting event, and so according to IS 10, the
Okay.
that's an event after reporting period.
Yes.
So this happened after the reporting period, but before the auditor issued his report. So it is still okay. It's like a new occurrence, right? That happened after the report. So that's why it's
Yes.
qualified to
But
be.
before the auditor release the audit report. The audit
Yes.
report has not been presented,
Yes.
but the fire incident happened after the reporting day.
Yes. Yes. So it is a non-adjusting event for that reason.
Yes.
And so if this fire incident is material and it could affect the decisions of the users of the financial statement. So
Yes, exactly.
the auditor has to, communicate with the management, and if they refuse to, what was the question again? If they refuse to disclose it, it can modify the
Opinion. Yes.
Yes, thank you.
Beautiful. Please clap for Chiamaka now. Chiamaka Asanwa.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. So, Mr. Olatunji, I said I don't know whether I'll be the one to. Good morning, sir. You raise up your hand, sir.
Good morning,
Mr.
sir.
Olatunji.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir.
Yes,
Good morning,
sir.
sir.
Just like my colleagues have been saying, in accordance with ISA 550, which is a subsequent event. Now, for my own, I will come in a different manner because during the course of the explanation, we observed that the incident happened after the reporting date, but before the
Hmm.
auditor's
Audit
report
report.
is being given, audit report is given. Definitely, it can be
Yeah.
adjusted in as much as the report has not been given. I don't know if
Okay.
I'm communicating.
Yes. So I understand, sir. But the condition for for an adjusting event that it must happen in that financial year. So if it does not happen in
Yes,
that year of reporting, it is not an adjusting event. But the
adjusting.
auditor
Yes,
can, you cannot adjust for it because the thing did not happen in the year we are auditing. I hope you
okay.
understand what I'm saying.
Yes,
It
sir. Yes,
happened
sir.
after we are still doing the audit, but the auditor, it is 2024 we are auditing now, and the issue happened January 15, 2025. The financial statement of 2024, it is this 2025 we audit it, Abi,
Yes, sir.
but it
Yes,
is 2024 account we are auditing. But this thing now happened in 2025. So that make it to be transaction for 2025, not for 2024. So that is why we cannot adjust for it. It is
okay, sir.
non-adjusting event.
Okay, sir.
But where it happen, if the thing happen in December 2020, like this law legal proceeding like this, they said it is pending because as at 2024, they don't know what is going to cause them for the lawsuit. But let's assume that legal case has been in court since 2020, for example, and they were able to finish it in year 2024. So it becomes adjusting event in year 2024 because although the legal procedure has been pending, but they were able to substantiate it or finish it in year 2024. So it becomes an adjusting event. Although the thing has been reported since 2020, but it was in 2024 they were able to finish it. So you cannot go back to 2020 and adjust it. It will be adjusted for in this 2024. That's a different example where it is an adjusting event or non-adjusting event. I hope you understand, sir. Mr.
Yes,
Olatunji.
sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. So, Madam Doka, you have the floor. So that my laptop battery is draining. There's no light. 46%. Let's quickly uh, follow up with the class and so that I can finish this one today. Mrs. Dokas, please, you have the floor, man.
Sir, which one?
You raise up your hand, man. That is why I called you.
Oh, no, it was a mistake. Oh,
Hey, Dokas, have you eaten this morning?
Yes.
Go and drink coffee. You have eaten. See you. Don't worry. So let us go. So Mr. Odrak, you can put down your hand, sir. You still have a question? Okay, yeah, let's hear you, sir, Mr. Odrak.
Please, sir, I wanted to find out and know the situation. Like subsequent event is 560 in
Okay.
advanced audit, whereas
Yes.
in FBR we call it IAS 10.
Yes. Yes.
Now, when we are dealing with auditing, are we to maintain the one for auditing? And when we are dealing with
Yes.
SBR, are we to maintain the one of SBR, or we can interchange?
You can say that in accordance with ISA 7 International Standard of Auditing,
550,
subsequent events.
550.
Yes, 550 subsequent event. ISA 550 is so you can say in line with international standard of auditing 550 on subsequent event
550.
and 550 yes, and also in international standard in international accounting standard IAS 10. So you can now you are just trying to tell them that in auditor it is
Okay.
ISA 550 we used to call it. So
Yes,
you cannot just say
550.
but let's now assume that you forgot that it is ISA 550. You are now quoting that according to international accounting standard 10. So you rather not say that if you don't remember the standard in auditing, rather than go and quote standard in accounting, because this is auditing, not accounting. I hope you
Yes,
understand, sir.
yes.
Okay. All right,
Thank
sir.
you. All right, sir. Thank you,
Okay.
sir.
All right. Okay, so let us go. So let us go to the solution. So we need to finish this class today. So now, so this is how to answer it. And let's see how we can go about it. So this is the solution to question number 1. They said, let me refer us to the question again and see. They said, what procedure should be applied regarding subsequent events, such as fire incident, and how should the auditor respond if management refuse to disclose it? Management did not disclose it. And, disclosure is what is part of what key or the emphasis of matter. That is the thing they disclose in the financial statement. So let us go. He now said that the fire incident is a subsequent event that occurred after reporting period. We are trying to establish that it is subsequent event, right? Quite all right. After the reporting date, but before the audit report was signed. He now said, under circumstances, in accordance with international standard of auditing, 560, auditor must determine whether it is an adjusting event or not, related to condition existing at the year end. Or so we are now trying to say that an adjusting event related to condition that exists at the year end, that is the year we are auditing. And if it is non-adjusting event, arise after the reporting date. So, and in this case, the situation happened after the reporting date, even though the auditor's report has not been signed. So it make it to be non-adjusting event. So this is how you are going to put it down, that the fire incident is a subsequent event. But however, in accordance with ISA 560, in the case of fire incident is so I just present this thing to make it very, very understandable for us that you cannot just decide that it is non-adjusting event and you just give your reasons. No, you need to embrace that, giving a strict preamble to let the examiner understand that, oh, this is a subsequent event, but this is the reason why we cannot adjust for it in the financial statement. So you cannot just go ahead and say it is non-adjusting event and give the reason and go on like that. So it is not done. So that is why in audit and assurance, you need to calm down and thoroughly explain why you say that your decision is like this, and that is why they used to call it suggested solution. Because in your own opinion, my opinion might be different from another person's opinion, or the way I'll put it might be different from the way another person will put it. But when you're now writing audit and assurance exam, you need to explain the condition that make you give such opinion the way you give it. Do you understand, anybody? Can we proceed, please? Hello? Can we proceed, please? Okay. So, you now said, yeah, the fire incident is a subsequent event, which is like that subsequent event that occur after reporting period, but before the audit report was done. Under ISA 560, the auditor must determine whether it is an adjusting event or non-adjusting event. So so that one is just like a preamble. You now want to answer the question. Now you now said, in this case, the fire incident is non-adjusting event. However, due to material impact, disclosure is required in the note to the financial statement. So they need to disclose it as note in the financial statement. So if they now said you have determined that it is non-adjusting event, and because of the materiality, they need to disclose it in the what in the note to the financial statement. But the question now also asks that if the management decide not, if the manager did not disclose it, what should the auditor do? So now let us now go to that aspect. And I said, if management refuses to disclose the auditor should consider the impact on the audit opinion. The review shall constitute material omission, and auditor should issue qualified or adverse opinion depending on the severity. So that is what Yamaka also told us. That's why I said you should clap for her. That if the management decide not to disclose it, the auditor can decide whether to issue qualified opinion or adverse opinion based on the severity. So in accordance with ISA 705, which is on modified audit opinion, the auditor should communicate this issue to those charged with governance and document all discussion and decision. If it is not material, if it is not material, yes, if it is not material, no, they are saying that this if it is not material, you can still issue qualified opinion. The reason if it is not material, you shall know that you are going to issue modified opinion because what they did not disclose it. For them not to disclose it, make it did not give auditor any choice rather than to modify the report. So if it is adverse, it means that it affects the entire area of financial statement. But if it is immaterial, of course now you just have to still disclose it, even though it is not material. But for you not to disclose it, make it to we leave the auditor no choice to give other than modify audit opinion. Please, do we understand this answer to question number one? I hope it is well structured and we understand it very, very well. So let us go. Let's check question number two. Now says that what is key audit matter? Yeah, they ask us what is key audit matter and how should the event violation issue be treated under ISA 701. Don't forget, we said key audit matter. They are the matter that is significant to the auditor, and they did not relate to figures in the financial statement. But however, it is important to be reported in the auditor's report for management to be aware. That is key audit matter. So they ask us that what is key audit matter and how should the auditor respond to the issue of that event evaluation as prescribed by ISA 701. Let us go. So here we are expected to give them the meaning of key audit matter. Because they ask you in the question, what is key audit matter? Can you see that we are approaching this question the way the question suggested. So here we are trying to provide the answer. So someone will ask me that, but in all these things, we are not linking the answer to the scenario. We are, because look at this thing. Look at here, this area where I said in this case, you're supposed to put, or sometimes you can put in the case of not bridge pharmaceutical. By putting that in the case of not bridge pharmaceutical, it means that you have linked your answer to the scenario. Please, are we following, everybody? I hope you understand what I just said now. Okay. So invariably, this answer we are providing the answer in relation to the what? To the given scenario. So let us go. The question B asks us what is key audit matter. So now, you now said, key audit matter, you bold it, is defined under ISA 701 as those matter that is in the auditor's professional judgment were of significance in audit of the current financial statement. We are saying that key audit matter, they did not relate to the figures in the financial statement though, but they are significant to the auditor in the current year of financial statement. So that is why those matter that they are very, very significant, that you need to reported. They are significant. They do not relate to the figures in the financial statement, but they are significant, that must be reported in the financial statement that happened that same year. So we regard them as key audit matter. Who can give me an example of key audit matter? Example. Buki, I will ask you now. Maybe you say, no, Mr. Abiodun, I will not ask you. Bukola, please. Give us an example of key audit matters, ma. Are you still on this call? Let me check. If you disappear, I will find you. Buki.
I'm sorry, I'm still on this call.
Okay, so give us an example of key audit matter. One example.
Of key audit matters.
Yeah.
But what am I? I'm sorry, I'm trying to remember. You know, like I'm still new on this call. No, sincerely, I've not been trying.
Do you know that we
I know
okay,
it, but
don't worry.
sincerely, I'm not just ready. I'm still very
Don't
new.
worry.
So
I will deal with you. I said you should raise up your hand and close your eye. Okay.
I said I'm still doing it. I'm still doing that.
Okay, no problem. So example of key audit matter, we have revenue recognition is an example of key audit matter. It is not related to figures in the financial statement. Impairment of assets, the example of key audit matter. So those are one of the examples of key audit matter. Here, now, inventory valuation is also key audit matter. Inventory valuation, and under this case, it is actual key inventory valuation they ask us to talk about. So the question asks us to describe to explain meaning of key audit matter and the condition of inventory valuation for that drugs that are nearly expire under ISA 701. So they have given them the meaning of key audit matter, which is important. You now proceed that inventory valuation, especially with the presence of near expire items, involves significant management judgment and estimation uncertainty. This make it a prime candidate for key audit matter disclosure. That is, we need to report it because it is very, very important, because most of those drugs is nearly what to expire. If the auditor did not put it in his report now, and they sold the product out, and some this thing suffer damage as a result of that expiring product, they will first of all go and check the auditor's report. Did the auditor put it in the key audit matter? If no, they are coming for the auditor. They will sue the auditor. So that is why the auditor need to put it in the audit report as key audit matter. Please, are we following? Please, everybody. Okay, so now let us go. Inventory valuation, especially with the presence of near expiry items, involves significant management judgments and estimation uncertainty. This makes it a primary candidate for key audit matter disclosure. So the auditor, however, The auditor should, one, describe why the matter was considered to be significant. You need to describe it. They say what the auditor should do. The auditor should describe why the matter is significant for correction. So, Mrs. Dorothy, you have the floor, ma'am.
Okay, sir. One of the key audit matters is revenue recognition. And to me,
Yes,
I
ma'am.
don't know, I feel like revenue recognition, if it is noticed, it is something you modify your opinion on. If it, let's say they ask us this kind of question, should revenue recognition fall under modified opinion or key audit matters?
No. Modify key audit matter is you are calling the attention of the management to some applications of the application in their financial statement. So it is when the thing is now material, when the thing is has naturally been misstated. That is, that ISA 705 is an opinion. It is an opinion. It is not key audit matter is not an opinion. No. So don't get it wrong, man. Key audit matter is not an opinion. You are just trying to let the management know that, oh, the application, the way you are applying this application, you are applying in the preparation of this financial statement is wrong. So if the application now leads to material misstatement, you are now going to now modify the opinion.
Okay, sir.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yes, sir. I understand where you're coming from. But like once
Okay.
it leads to material misstatement, is there any need to put it under can again? Should we just give an opinion on it? Because when I was reading, they said that if something is under modified opinion, there's no need to put it under key audit matters. I don't know if I got it wrong.
No.
Okay, sir.
They are two different things. That is why I said don't get it wrong.
Okay, sir.
You see, key audit matter. It is the matter that is significant for professional judgment. Significant. You are not giving opinion. Okay, now this is what I'm saying. This is an example of this of it. Okay, how do I put this thing? I want to use a real life scenario this thing to explain it. This key audit matter is indirectly talking about the applications. Application of something. Okay, if they say, oh, okay, now you want to bake bread, you want to make bread now. You need flour and those things that they used to use to make bread or cake, as the case may be. You know that if you overuse what you're not supposed to use, the application of those things is going to reflect in the end product of the cakes. Madam Dorothy, are you following?
Yes, I'm here. I'm listening to you.
So if, for example, you're supposed to use two teaspoons of sugar to bake the cake, and you use 3, those are the application that you put. But the end result will now be that maybe the cake will be too sugary, which is not supposed to be so. So that being too sugary will now that is where the opinion will now comes in, that in my opinion this thing is too sugary and it can affect the health of another person. That is why I'm giving modified opinion. But key audit matter is the application of, instead of using 2 spoons, you use 3. So you will now put it in your report that I noticed that you put 3 teaspoons instead of 2. I'm trying to tell you that, oh, it should be 2, not 3. That your application is wrong. But however, that application now lead to misstatement. Misstatement in that case is now that the cake is, or the bread is too sugary, and if people consume it, it can cause another health issue for them. So in that regard, that application that you misuse now cause material misstatements, which make it to be more sugary, and that is why I am giving modified opinion on it.
Okay.
Do you understand?
I understand it
Where
very
is now
well,
coming
sir.
from? That key audit matter is like an application that lead to something. You are trying to communicate that key audit matter as application that your application to this thing is either wrong or not wrong, or what you are doing is not proper. Do it this way. So if that application now lead to material misstatement, that is where you now bring modify opinion because the application was wrong. Just like in revenue recognition now, if the company they award contract for 20 and you are able to complete one at the end of financial year, how much are you supposed to recognize as your revenue in your financial statement? Is it not 10,000? Abi, Madam Dorothy, are you following? Is it not 10,000?
Yes, sir.
So,
Yes, sir.
is it not 10,000 they're supposed to put in the financial statement as revenue? They now want to go and
Yes.
put 20,000. So, in your key audit matter, in your report, you just put there, we observe that the total contract awarded is 20,000 naira to build 2 project tank. But at the end of at the end of financial year 2024, the company were able to what to complete one project listing, which supposed to be recognized, which revenue supposed to be recognized as 20,000, and they now put 10,000 rather, and they now put 20,000 naira in the listing. Do you know that it does not say that the account is not going to balance? If it is 10,000, the account is still balanced, Abi. If it is
Yes, sir.
20,000, the account is still balanced. But you are putting it in the key audit matter that the application of that it should be 20,000. It should be 10,000, not 20,000. So you are trying to correct them to make them understand that the application, the way they recognize the revenue is not in line with the application or applicable way they're supposed to recognize the revenue. So you put it in key audit matter to let them to be aware that this thing is not supposed to be like this. The application is wrong. You understand?
Yes, I understand. Thank you, sir.
So where key audit matter now different from emphasis of matter. The emphasis of matter, they will disclose it in the financial statement like this. Oh, that this thing will disclose in the financial statement. But the auditor also need to what? Point to it to let the management know that this is what you disclose in your financial statement. Oh. So we are now trying to tell you that from our review, what you disclose is not correct. Just like going concern, you put that you prepare the account on going concern basis, and you've been making loss, meaning that application, that thing that you said you prepare on going concern, it means that the company might not even last more than 1 year. And you said you disclose it in your financial statement that the account is prepared on going concern accounting basis, and whereas you'll be making consistent loss, which is threatening to going concern of the company. Do you now understand the difference between the theory, the key audit matter, the emphasis of matter, and modify opinion? Man? All right. Everybody, please, are we following? Can I proceed, please? All right. So now, what the auditor should do, let us go. They said the auditor should describe why the matter was considered to be significant, just like what I explained now. I think I've even explained all this in nine, just like what I explained now, because the matter is significant because it can cause material misstatement. That is why I consider it to be what significant. Then the auditor should outline how the matter was addressed during the audit, e.g., testing of inventory aging. Inventory aging is how long can the stock be in the what? In the company. If like all those coke that we used to buy, they used to write the expiry date in the what? In the on the can there. So they said that the auditor should outline how the matter should be addressed. That is by a company to take note of all those products and their expiring date. That's another tool that the auditor should do. Testing inventory aging to know to track the expiry date of the product they have in stock. So see, avoid including original information not already disclosed by management. That is, the auditor should avoid including original information. That is, any information that the management did not put, the management did not disclose, the auditor should avoid you should also avoid it. So that is one of the things that the auditor should do. And that is what the question is asking us, that explain period nearly expired. The auditor should do the following: describe why the matter is significant, and you should need to outline this during the audit, like to tell them that they need to review the testing inventory regime and evaluate the write-down policy, and also check the subsequent states of the item. Please, are we following, everybody? Can I proceed, please? All right. So let's check question number C. Question number C says that explain how the auditor should handle inconsistency in sustainability disclosure included in the annual report. That matter that the CO2 emission that was with the industry benchmark. And now says we should explain. The answer we should explain how the auditor should handle the situation. So who can tell me what can the auditor do in this case before I even show us the answer? So who can tell me? Oh yeah. Who can tell us? Okay, Mr. Odrak. Thank you, sir. You have the floor.
Thank you, sir. Please, sir, let me try my. What according to IFRS 8.1, disclosure of sustainability and environmental, the auditor should note the fact that is being affected by the general society, because the carbon dioxide being used in that product is affected to the general public. So
Yes.
the auditor should note the side effect and bring it in his books, which can also be leading to modified opinion if the management refuse to address the case.
Okay, yes, you are right, sir, but the question is actually saying that at what point can the auditor include this thing in the report? Is it to be disclosed as key audit matter or emphasis of matter, or revised emphasis of matter, which is other matter paragraph, or ISA 720, which is other information?
Other information, ISA 720.
Okay, good, correct, sir. Please help us clap for Mr. Odrak, who is not clapping now. So thank you, sir, for that contribution. Okay, so that is it. It is then regarded as other information, and the auditor should treat it as other information in his auditor's report. So let us see and how we can go ahead with it. This is how to answer this thing. Let us go. In line with ISA 720, ISA 720 outlined the responsibility of the auditor relating to other information in documents containing or accompanying audited financial statements and the auditor's reports thereon. However, the sustainability report is part of other information. The auditor must, one, read the information and consider whether it is materially inconsistent with financial statements or auditor's knowledge obtained during the audit. And if inconsistencies are found, then the questionable CO2 metric, the auditor should discuss the issue with the management and seek correction. That is what the auditor needs to do. Then I said, if management refuses to make necessary amendments, then the auditor should describe the inconsistency in other matter paragraphs. Then you now discuss it under ISA 706 revised, other matter paragraph. Please, are we following now? Hello, are we following, please, everybody? They said it is considered as other information in accordance with ISA 720, which relate to what? Sustainability report. And the auditor should read the information and consider whether they are materially inconsistent or not. Then, if it is found inconsistent, the auditor should report to the management, and they should correct it. But if necessary amendment was not done, if the management did not do any amendment, then the auditor should describe it as inconsistent in other matter paragraph, which is ISA 706 revised. Please, are we following? Are we following, please? Okay. And I said, then 2, auditor should consider whether the inconsistency impacts the auditor's opinion or undermines management credibility. They said the auditor should consider the inconsistency, whether it's going to have impact on his opinion or undermines the management credibility or make the management credibility not to be to go as it's supposed to. Then all actions should be documented and the auditor should remain objective and comply with ethical standard under ICANN code of conduct. That is, the auditor should remain objective that you have to correct this or I will give modified audit opinion. So that is that about question 1C. Please, I hope we are following, please, everybody. Are we following, please? Okay, so let us quickly check the last question there. Let us check the last question. Here, they said discuss the auditor's reporting responsibility regarding the unresolved proceeding and when it is maybe appropriate to refer to a special. That is, what is the responsibility of auditors regarding the unresolved legal proceeding? What is the responsibility of auditor in that regard? So let us go. This is what the auditor should do. Legal proceeding, particularly those with potential material financial impact, must be evaluated carefully. They now said, if management cannot reliably estimate the outcome, the auditor must assess whether it represents contingent liability requiring disclosure under ISA 37, IS 37. You know, IS 37 is contingent asset and contingent liability. If you sue someone and there is compensation that they will pay you, it becomes contingent asset to you. But if you are the one that they sue and you are going to pay them a liability that you suffer, or that you made them suffer, it becomes contingent liability to you. So it becomes contingent liability to what? To Northbridge Pharmaceutical because of that legal proceeding. Please, are we following? Then I said, if cannot reliably estimate the outcome, in the question they said their legal advisor, as at that time, were unable to estimate the actual amount they are going to suffer or they are going to liable to pay if the court case has been ruled. Abi? So now, they now said the auditor need to determine or to assess it and consider it as contingent liability in accordance with IS 37. If the matter is material and uncertain, then the management disclose it adequately, and the auditor may include in an emphasis of matter order ISA 706 to draw the attention to the note in the financial statement. What we are saying here in essence that you consider that because they are unable to estimate the actual amount they are going to pay, it becomes contingent liability in accordance with IS 37. So, however, the auditor should regard this thing and put it in his report as emphasis of matter if the management disclose it in their financial statement. So that is why we said we use emphasis of matter to draw the attention of the shareholders to those things they disclose in the financial statements. That is why we said going concern certainty, it is example of emphasis of matter. Legal proceeding is also an example of emphasis of matter and the like. So This thing, auditor will report it in his audit report as emphasis of matter, where the management disclose it in the what? In the financial statement. Please, are we following everybody? I hope you are following me. Hello? Okay. So, they now say, furthermore, if the disclosure is insufficient or unreliable, that is, if the disclosure they disclose is insufficient and unreliable, the auditor may do the following. What they seek an independent opinion, seek an independent legal opinion, particularly where litigation is complex or lack internal legal clarity. That is, they should seek for the opinion of their legal advisor where the litigation is complex and they do not know the amount they are going to suffer to pay when the matter is being ruled in the court of law. You know, said this is when it is appropriate to refer to a specialist. You know, in the question they ask us that what would the auditor do in the case of legal proceeding? How would the auditor treat it? And at what point the auditor will or the auditor may refer them to a specialist? They said when the matter is what is not insufficient or unreliable, then the auditor can tell them to seek legal opinion where the litigation is what is complex. And two, depending on the adequacy of evidence and disclosures, the auditor may need to what to modify the opinion or withdraw from the engagement if there is significant limitation or ethical concern. That is, the auditor can modify the opinion if the management did not do anything. If their disclosure is unreliable, the management can what can give qualified opinion, or the auditors should withdraw from the engagement because it's going to be threatened to its professional integrity and credibility. So that is how this kind of question can come in. You can see that it is somehow short. It can come in 20-mark question. As you see, it is 20-mark question. It touched the aspect of our audit report, then subsequent events, a contingent asset or contingent liability, and general observation that auditors should do generally. So this is where we stop for today. But before we go, if we have any question, generally from this thing we saw this morning, please let us know. Because my battery, this thing is running low and my system can go off anytime soon. Any question, please? Just within 2 minutes. Any question, please? Okay. Mr. Uduak, you have the floor. Mr. Uduak, you have the floor, please. Please let us do it quickly before this system go off.
Hello, sir. Hello,
Yes,
sir.
I can hear you.
Yes,
I
sir.
can hear you, sir.
Okay, sir. Thank you very much. Thank you for the lecture.